You guys know the drill. So happy you guys are here. My name is Angela Petrilli, here with the awesome folks at Fishman. Angela Petrilli here to show you some of my favorite tunes every Saturday here on the Riff Rundown live on YouTube. I go through a tune in an hour, live, no edits. It's super fun. We go through it nice and slow. So happy you guys are here. Today we're going to be going over Take It Easy, made famous by the Eagles and Jackson Browne. I know I say this every week, but it is one of my favorite songs ever, and I'm so thrilled to be teaching it to you today. So have your acoustic guitar, standard tuning. If you happen to have an electric today, you can totally play it on there too. We're gonna be going over like the rhythm parts with some riffs. I've got some riffs here too. So it's gonna be a really full version of this song, which is gonna be a ton of fun. Mike Saunders from the UK, thank you for being here. You guys are already one step ahead of me. I love this. So you guys know the drill. I'm gonna go ahead and play the tune that we're gonna do today, and let me know where you're tuning in from and your favorite campfire song. So if you're hanging around with some buddies and you're playing guitars and all of that good stuff, your favorite campfire songs. Okay, so here we go. Here is Take It Easy. So there we go. We're going to be learning Take It Easy. Don't worry, we're going to play the whole song. We're going to save the bridge, solo part, all that for a little bit later. So be sure to stick around. Again, so thrilled you guys are here. I see everybody's tuning in. This is great. We got England in the house, Illinois, Sonora, California. Thank you all for being here. So let's go ahead and let's get started. And I see that this is some of your guys' favorite campfire tune. So I'm glad we're going to be learning it today. So here's what we're going to do here. The intro, I'm going to play nice and slow, right? That 3-chord progression that's happening there. It goes like this. So what's happening here? Well, it's a series of 3 chords. They're gonna all stem from this version of G major that we're gonna play today, okay? So here's how I want you to play this. I want you to get your 3rd finger, place that, all right, on that 3rd fret of the E string here. That's your G note. And your pinky, we're gonna put on the G note, but on the high E string right here, okay? So these first 2 fingers are gonna be free. Don't worry, we're gonna put them to good use in just a second. So that's the chord. That's our G chord. Now, it doesn't look like this one, and it doesn't look like this one, right? But why are we still calling this G? Well, in this voicing of G, we still have the 1, 3, 5. What do we mean by this? These are the building blocks of that major chord. G, B, and D are our target notes. Those are the 3 notes we need to make that G major chord. They are all present in each of these different finger styles of playing that G chord. But in this case, this one's really like cool, very country sounding, okay? And that's the kind of G that we're gonna use in this intro. So what we want to do here, as you are placing this 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the E string, it's going to naturally mute that A string. Hear that? I usually don't want you guys muting strings, but in the case of this, this is good. Why? We don't have an A note in our G major chord. So we want to leave that muted. Totally okay. Keep that finger there. You don't need to curl it too much. We want that E string muted, okay? And you're just going to strum the rest. So that's how it should sound, okay? Pretty cool stuff, right? And you're just going to nice up-down strumming. Again, as I say in these lessons, let the pick do the work for you here. Nice, light touch. Don't feel that you need to be too aggressive. Let the pick do the work for you when you're strumming this, okay? So let's just do that for a moment here. I'll slow it down. Next chord, okay? So notice, we're going to keep our third and fourth finger placed where they are for this entire part of this intro, okay? So these, pretend they're glued there for the intro, okay? We're not going to move them. However, now we're going to put the first and second finger to good use here, okay? So your first finger, I want you to put that on the first fret of the B string. That's your C note, okay? The G string is going to be open. Your second finger, place that on the second fret of that D string. So what is this chord? We're going to call this an A minor 7 over G. So if I were to, I'm going to unglue these for a minute here. So, see this chord? That's our A minor 7. I know we've played it in a few lessons previously. Okay. So that's your A minor 7. You have your A, you have your C, you have your E, you have a G in there, okay? So those are the 4 notes we need to make that chord. So that's there. We add a G in the bass. So the slash chords that we see a lot, that's what that means. You got another note in the bass, okay? And for good added measure, why not add another G on the bottom too? So that's what they're doing there. And that's the name of that chord. That's how we get that name, okay? So that's that chord. Now, the next chord, it's gonna go like this. You're gonna get this second finger. You're gonna move it down, okay, to the second fret of that G string. That's your A note. It's going to sound like this. This we're going to call a D7 sus4 with that G in the bass, okay? So the notes that you are hitting in this chord, we've got our G here, okay? We've got our open D string. Your second finger should be on the second fret of that G string. That's your A. First finger, that is going to be on your C note, first fret B string. And your pinky finger is going to be on G, third fret, E string, the little one. Okay? Beautiful, beautiful chord. Right? So that's what we're doing there. So we're going to do now, we're going to go over this nice and slowly here again. Keeping the arm moving. We'll talk about the accents in just a second. But let's go over these 3 chords first, before we worry about what's happening with the right hand. Starting to hear it come together? So keep this in mind too. I think this is going to help some of you out today. Okay, when you're going to that A minor 7 over G, switching to the D7 sus4, leave the first finger where it is, only move that second finger, like this to there. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do that a few times so you can see that movement. Just move the second finger. Okay, so let's do that a few times nice and slowly here. From the top. movement there. Go ahead, see if you can catch it again. That's what's happening there. Not too bad. As I say in all of these lessons, you can't play anything fast, you can't play slow. So really take your time as you are playing these chords. Be sure to, really take your time with this. Make sure the fingers are curled and all that good stuff. We're not getting any buzzing. Be mindful of the placement near the frets. All that good stuff. All the stuff you guys already know. All right, so just keep it in mind. All right, so now let's go ahead and do that to speed. And then let's talk about the accents first. So, for the version that the Eagles play, they really accent whenever we change that chord, right? A minor 7 for G, B 7 sus 4. I'll do that without the commentary. Notice how they're upstrokes, okay? Now I'm me personally, when I play, my arm moves a lot. Like that comes kind of naturally to me. If that seems really strange for you guys, you don't have to be as big in that move as I am. If you want to just go back just a little bit, totally cool too. If you want to just subdue it a little, you can do that. But I know, I've played this song a million times at many, many gigs, and yeah, you just get really into it. People get excited and they're singing it and stuff, and yeah, I will, pull it a little harder, but if you want to subdue it, it's totally fine. So, all right, here we go. Let's go ahead and hear that again from the top, and then we're going to go into the riff, okay? Oh, and also too, with that, and again, we're live, folks. So when I think of things like on the fly that I want to mention, I do want to mention that. If you want to do a quick one of those, down, up, down, to open things, feel free to do that. Or if that's a little too much, just go right into it. It's going to rock just as hard, so don't worry. But yeah, if you want to do that bigger, just do it a little faster. Down, up, down, down, up, down, just like that. Again, it's like a level 2, if you want to do that. Accent. So, that's the intro there. It's really, really fun to play. Again, can't play anything fast, you can't play slow. So take your time on that. Take your time on that. And also, too, this is a live Q&A, so if you guys have questions about certain parts, be sure to write them in the comments. Those of you watching on YouTube and Facebook, I can see them through here. So when there are segments within our lesson today, if you guys got questions, happy to answer them for you. Try and answer as many as I can, too. So that's the intro chords. Let's go ahead and do the riff. Now, I'm not going to do the riff that you hear in the Eagles version. I am going to do the riff in Jackson Browne's solo version that he does on solo acoustic, because those pedal steel bends that they do on the electric guitar is pretty difficult to do on an acoustic guitar, because you need this whole step bend. So we're going to do Jackson Browne's version of that riff instead. And if you guys are familiar with the version, it's one of my favorite versions of this song. It's on his Solo 1 acoustic album, and you can hear Jackson Browne play this. He actually has the guitar tuned down a half step too, and it's got this beautiful warmth and just one of my favorite songwriters ever. He's great. So that riff that he does, that we're gonna do here, because the way I planned out this lesson for you guys today is I'm assuming most of you are going to go and you're going to play this around a campfire, right? You're going to play this solo acoustic. And I want you to enjoy both the rhythm parts of this as well as the really fun riffs that are in here too. So I borrowed from Jackson Browne's version, and I borrowed stuff from the Eagles and put them together so that you have a version that you can play at home or at a gig or wherever you are that you can go ahead and just play and have fun and get the best of both worlds. So that's what we're going to do here. So this riff is the one we see in Jackson Browne's version, and that is the one I'm going to teach you guys today. So how we're going to do it is like this. We're going to use our first 2 fingers here, okay? Now what you're going to do is you're going to get your first finger, place that on the C sharp on the 2nd fret of the B string, and your 3rd finger, place that here on the B flat, and then we're going to slide it up a half step. So just like that. Okay? Now, those of you having a look at my right hand here, you will be noticing that I am hybrid picking, and you would be correct. I like to grip it that way. Could you go ahead and strum it? You could. I like to have a bit more control with this riff, and it's really the only time we're going to do sort of a hybrid pick. Because the rest of the riff, we're just doing some nice alternate picking here. But again, I like really clean sounding riffs, and I have found, in playing this, I prefer to do it as a hybrid pick. So let me tell you how we do that. You're holding your pick, right, with your thumb and your 1st finger, okay? At least that's how I'm doing it here today, all right? Have the hand, or the fingers with the pick. The pick is going to strike the G string, and your middle finger is going to pluck upward on the B string, and you're just going to lightly pinch it. Lightly pinch those two strings together, okay? Like that. So let's do that a few times here. Like that, okay? So, again, it's not the version that we see in the Eagles, but it's the version that Jackson Browne does, and it sounds super, super sweet on an acoustic guitar, so. Now, that part there. So, get your 3rd finger, okay? I want you to slide it from that 4th fret of the G string to the 2nd fret of the G string, playing that A note and then releasing G string open. Okay? So, nice and slowly, here's how this is going to sound. And pull up. Notice how I did a pull off right there at that 2nd finger? Like that. Okay, let's go ahead and do that again. Hybrid picking. Pick on the G string only for that. Okay, let's do that one more time. One more time, good luck, why not? One more time. Like that, okay? So that's what I'm looking for there. Again, when you are practicing this at home, nice, clean, consistent moves here. Because again, we don't want to cut corners here. Really want this to sound great. Now, get that 2nd finger, place that on the 2nd fret of the D string, that's your E note, and then open G string. Okay? 2nd fret D string, E note, open G string G. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and do this next part. Give it a little context, nice and slow here. One more time. One more time. Okay, so that's what's happening there. Now, the final bit of this riff is going to go like this. We're hitting a B, we're hitting an A, and we're hitting a G. Okay, so that's what's happening there. Now, with that G, when we play that final note of this riff, I like to do an upstroke. It leads for a little more space for me to then go back down and strum the G chord that comes at the top of the verse. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play this whole riff nice and slow at first, and then we're going to go ahead and do it at varying speeds. And then after this, I'm going to go ahead and leave some time for questions, those of you who have live questions. Okay, so here we go. Again, nice and slowly here. Again. A little faster. Again, alternate picking here. Very important. It's going to make this a lot smoother. So that's what's happening there. That's the intro. Again, folks, take your time with this. Make sure it sounds awesome. Awesome. Take your time with it. We got folks saying, could this work on a 12 string? Absolutely. You want to play this on a 12 string? It'll sound great. It's going to sound nice and big. Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, again, this is a super, super fun song, and I am so thrilled you guys are here to learn this with me. This is great. This is great. Again, if you guys are enjoying these lessons, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Angela Petrilli Music. I have weekly riff rundowns, live guitar lessons, and it's just a blast. And also, too, I'm starting to play out a bunch more at live shows, so those of you be sure to check out my website, angelapetrillimusic.com, and you can see if I'm playing in a town near you. So yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Also, too, if you guys want to play this with a lighter pick, perhaps a pick that bends a little bit more, this would be a really good song and a good opportunity to use a lighter pick. If you guys like heavier picks, that's fine too. I'm using a bit of a lighter pick today just because it felt good with the song, just felt like it fit really nice. So I'm using a 0.60 pick here today, and it seems to be, it's usually a lot lighter than I usually use, but it seems to fit the song quite nicely today. So that's what's going on today with this. So let's go ahead again. You guys type in your questions. We'd be happy to answer them. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and go on to the verse here. So with the verse, very, very basic, simple chords that are happening here, okay? What makes this song so great is the really awesome rhythm, okay? And the really, really good right hand, keeping the song moving along, okay? So when you are practicing this, you wanna make sure that this arm doesn't stop moving, okay? Unless we have our breaks, and I'll let you know when those come up. But in the meantime, the chords here in the verse, we've got G, D, and C. Yes. So all my beginners out there, no excuses. You guys can totally play this, okay? So just to give you context, I'll just kind of sing along for a second so you guys know how this would go. So we're coming out of that riff. That's what we're doing there. Okay, so basic chords that are happening here. So here's what we're gonna do. G chord, I'm choosing to play it like this. Those of you guys know who do these lessons with me here, you know that is my preferred G grip most of the time. I like this one, but hey, if you wanna keep it to this one, you could totally do that one too. So I will leave that up to you. I know for me, when I play this song, I like to do this one, okay? But up to you, again. Whatever makes your heart sing, folks. As far as when it comes to a G chord with this song, play it how you like. Play it how you like. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So you've got G. And notice my right hand isn't stopping. I'll slow down that strumming pattern. That's how we're doing that verse. with that D chord, why I like to play G this way is because I have a natural pivot point that's happening from G major to D. Notice, keep an eye on my third finger here. See how I didn't move it? That's my pivot point. All right? So that's what's happening there. I encourage you, if you'd like, to switch that way. It's gonna make it makes the switch a little more flawless, I think, and especially having that leading D note carrying on between those two chords, I think, can lead to something that sounds quite beautiful. So, all right, so that's what we're gonna do there. So, those of you who are, you know, advanced players, you're like, yeah, Angela, I know this already. We got beginners here too, so we got to talk about it. All right. And then basic C chord. All right, just make sure you don't hit the E string when you're strumming that. Strum from the bottom, 5 strings. Okay, we don't want that E. At least in this song, we don't want that. All right, so what we're gonna do here, that repeats 2 times. Okay, so you've got G chord. It's been a long week, folks. We're live. So you got G, you got D, and then you got C. This happens again. G, D, C, and then we end our verse with another G chord, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and do this a few more times here. I will do it at varying speeds. So here we go. We'll start it off slow. Breathe, repeat. From there we go to the chorus, okay? So now I am going to go ahead, play that a little faster. Happening there. I'm seeing someone say, Bill is asking, I see your thumb is over here. Can I mute with that thumb? In this song, now, how can I answer this question here? If you're a really aggressive strummer, sometimes it does help to have like a bit of a mute. So if you see there, I am muting with my thumb. But I have a very well trained right hand to when I'm strumming to know to not hit that E string. When I am strumming that D chord, I'm starting that strum right on that D string. I guess I use this as a little bit of insurance, and also it's a little more comfortable for me to do this. So yeah, if you could see with these 3 chords, you can see that my thumb is there. Yeah, it's comfortable for my hand. I know some folks will just do this and put that thumb in the middle of the neck with these chords. You could. For me, it's a little more comfortable to do that, but that's just me. And I don't know why I'm whispering. This is on YouTube. Everyone's gonna hear it. So yeah, let's see. So Reckless 575 saying my pinky hasn't moved from the G on the first string. That's okay, take your time. You can learn this song. Go back, rewind this video, take your time. It's a pretty chord though. I like that version of G, it's great. Okay, so that is the verse, okay? So now we get on to the chorus. So the chorus, we're gonna have some minor chords here, basic minor chords, fun stuff, okay? The chorus is gonna start with an E minor. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it. So I'll play the entire chorus. basic chords here. What is making it great? The great strumming, the great strumming. So really taking your time, keeping this moving, keeping it moving, folks, keeping it moving. And again, yeah, not being played too aggressively. Okay, let the pick do the work for you here. All right, so E minor. All right, for my beginners, I will tell you guys how to play this. Get your second finger, place that on the second fret of that A string. That's your B note, B as in boy, and then your third finger is going to go directly underneath it on the second fret of the D string. That is your E. Strum everything. It's good stuff. Love that chord. So that's what we're going to do there. E minor, simple. C we know, and G we know. And then we've got an A minor here for my beginners. Let's talk through it here. First finger, first fret, B string, C note. Second finger, second fret, D string, E note. Okay. Third finger, place that second fret, G string. That is your A. Strum the bottom 5 strings, everything except this big E string. Again, minor chords are just so cool. There we go. So there you go. So that's how we play that A minor. The other chords in here, you already know. So I'm going to play this nice and slow. That's our strumming pattern here. All right, let's continue on with that strumming pattern. I'm going to keep it at that pace. Remember, slow and steady wins the race here. Let's do that again. So with this too, there are some pivot points, particularly with the A minor to C. All right, so notice there. That third finger, right? You switch here, third fret of that A string, your C note. Then to our G chord. Okay, so that's what's happening there in the chorus. Now, after that chorus, you can absolutely do that riff again from the top of, before we started the first verse. So, again, what I will do here is I will play everything that we have done so far. All right, so here we go, folks. Verse. again, notice that pivot point from the A minor to the C. All right, getting some questions in here. Someone is asking, would these chords sound any different in other positions other than first, like bar chords? Bill, great question. It's not gonna sound as open. Could you absolutely do this? Like you got your G bar chord here. They're the same chords, right? G major, and then you would have your A minor 7, but again, it's not as open. Now, say you were playing in an instance with like another guitar player, and you want to do inversions and play bar chords again to kind of, you know, make it sound bigger. Absolutely do inversions. I think that's always a good idea. I know when I play with another guitar player, I'm always thinking in that way. Yeah, Terry, exactly. With 2 guitars, feel free. So find different inversions of these chords, and then someone was doing this. You know, and also too, I believe in the original, they just got one guitar is doing this. And they're just hitting the changes, right? So if you're a secondary guitar player, you can do those things too and kind of play with the time as well and saying like, ooh, what would be the most impactful putting what chords where? Again, this is how we become like true musicians. Really listen, really listen to what's going on. I think that makes a great musician, not just playing, but listening and adapting and being part of a team. I know to me that's my favorite part of being a musician, is listening to others. I think it's just really cool. It's fun stuff. You can always learn. Always a student. And I say this, even though I teach these lessons and I do all this kind of stuff, I will always be a student. Always be a student. So that search for knowledge, I think, is a really great thing. I think it makes us better players for sure. So great question, Bill. I hope that answered that. So yeah, it is good stuff. Again, we are playing and learning today Take It Easy by the awesome Glenn Frey and Jackson Browne. So love this song. It is just a super fun one to play. So we've gotten through the chorus, we've gotten through the verse, okay, and that intro. Now we get on to verse 2, same old thing, same chords. In chorus 2, which we just led up to right there, okay, it's going to be some variation in the chords, slightly. Easy chords that we all know already, but it's just slightly different. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about that. I'm going to go ahead and play it through, and then we'll talk about it, okay? With some words, it'll probably make a little more sense if I kind of sing along to it, although I'm sure most of you already know the words. So come on, baby. I gotta know your sweet love's gonna say, right? We may lose and we may win. So that's what's happening there ish. Fun stuff. So again, with that second chorus E minor, it's a quick baby, don't say maybe. So it's a little quicker in how we switch those, okay? So in real time it would sound like this. 1, 2. So, downward stroke on that E minor to D, upward stroke on C, and upstroke on G too. I will play that a little slower here. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. All right. After that section of that second chorus, go into A minor, to our C, back to E minor. Now, if we want to do this is something that I like to do. I like adding suspensions and all that stuff. I'm sure you guys know that. In Jackson Browne's acoustic version, you can hear this stuff happening too, which is just fantastic and awesome. So we've got A minor. You can go ahead and climb up to that C. Again, this is level 2 for my beginners. You're like, that's just too much right now. It's fine, just play the chords, it's okay. As a level 2, an added bonus when you get up to it, right? There's my B note, right? Play that with your second finger on the A string, and then third finger, go to that C note to then complete your C chord. So I'll do that really slowly here so you can hear that. Notice how they're upstrokes. I'll do that again. Cool stuff, right? I do an upstroke on that E minor, okay? Then I'll go ahead and do that. Again, adds a little movement. This is something you'll hear in Jackson Browne's version too. Lifting up that third finger, the D string is now open, then hammer back down, hitting the E note. Gives that E minor really, really cool depth. See what I mean? I'm gonna play that whole part again, the first half of that chorus so you can hear what I'm doing. Hear that? Yes. It makes a song from like good to great. Those little nuances. At least I think so. I think it makes it move, and it's just really, really cool stuff. It's not just the chords, but the nuances. Nuances are so fun. Embellishments, yes, Frank, however you want to call them. So that's how we do that. Now, we're going to the second half of that second chorus now. C, G upstroke, C upstroke, G upstroke. A minor, let's do that walk up again to our G chord. This one you want to hold. So that G chord, we call them diamonds, whole note, let it ring. Like that. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that again. Then I want to talk about, I have people asking me about gear and strings and preamps and all that stuff. So we'll get to that right after this. So here we go, chorus 2. Or downstroke, doesn't matter, but let it ring. That's the main thing. Okay, so that's what's happening there in chorus 2. Okay, let me get to your questions about what's going on as far as gear and all of that stuff. This is my Martin 0017E by Martin Guitars. I love this thing. Super awesome, super fun to play. It's probably my favorite guitar to teach on. Great acoustic guitar, super light, sounds big. I think, so I bought this in 2017 and it just sounds better with age. I love it. It's been really fun getting to know this guitar and it sounds great. I will be sure to put links on YouTube, so you guys can see the gear that I'm using today. As far as pickups here, these are Fishman Matrix VT Enhanced that I've gotten here. Sounds really good. So that's what you are hearing through today. As far as a preamp, I've got the Fishman RS Spectrum DI, the silver box I talk about. I absolutely love it. It's great. And then I've got, as far as amplification is concerned, the Loudbox Performer by Fishman. It's loud, it's awesome. I love it. So as far as gear, that's what's happening. Strings, D'Addario, nickel bronze lights. That's what I'm using on here today. So yeah, they're great acoustic strings. Love them. So D'Addario, nickel bronze lights are what I'm using here today. All right, cool. So we've got through pretty much like half the song. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go over the solo bit now. Since we are playing acoustic, we're not gonna do the whole solo thing because we don't have, you know, tellies and pedal steel and all that. Maybe one day I'll teach the solo. But in the meantime, again, with how I wanted to approach this lesson today was from just that solo acoustic player perspective. So making, you know, the best out of both worlds, taking stuff from the Eagles version, taking stuff from Jackson Browne's acoustic version, and putting it together so all of you can sit and enjoy and play this one around a campfire, okay? So here we go. So the solo goes like this, and I'm gonna give you guys two variations on the solo part. Variation one is gonna be geared toward my beginners. We're just gonna strum it, okay? Basic chords, we're just gonna strum it. Version 2, I am taking from Jackson Browne's acoustic version, where he picks out and arpeggiates some stuff and gives some good rhythm. So I'm going to give you guys both, but we're going to go through version 1 first, which is simply the strumming. So here we go. So it goes like this. Just the simple level 1 strumming version, okay? So we've got G, we've got D, again, pivot point, think about it. Good thing to do, to C. This happens again, G, to D, to C, back to G now, to E minor, to D, to C, back to G, to A minor, to C, to E minor, looking at my notes, to D. Okay, so that's what's happening there. As far as the chords are concerned, let's talk about the strumming. Lots of upstrokes here. I'm always hitting the upstroke of those chords. All right, I'm gonna play that again a little bit slower, and then I'll play it to speed, and then we're gonna go ahead and get to version 2, which is the way that I really like to play it. So, and the way that Jackson Browne plays it, acoustic. So here we go. Upstrokes. Remember the upstrokes. Don't be scared of them. With upstrokes, I know for particularly for my beginners, it can seem like you're fighting against gravity with this. That's why I say let the pick do the work for you. Let it glide on those strings. We don't want it to be really, right? And you hear those peaks and valleys. Like, I'm sure we've all heard this when we've been playing. Letting the pick do the work for you, let it glide. Don't give any extra like big energy that you don't really need. Listen. Versus when you put a little pressure on it, that's when you get those peaks and valleys. So let the pick do the work for you. Again, the sustain of the instrument as well. Think about an acoustic guitar. What is this? It's a drum. It's a hollow piece of wood, right? There's going to be sustain there. Let it work to your advantage, particularly in songs like this. Really, really going to come in handy. Okay? But let the pick do the work for you. Okay? All right, so that's what's happening there, my beginners. Do that, get used to that. And now we're gonna do version 2. This is the way that I like to play it. I'm gonna get my chart up here so that we can move along with this. So, in Jackson Browne's acoustic version, this is the way that he does. He does an upstroke on the E minor, which is just killer. I'm just such a sucker for that, I love it. So, here's how his version of the solo goes. Live. Let me do that again. Let's clean that up. Okay, so that's what's happening there. So at the top of that solo, you're gonna strum like regular, right? When we hit that G chord. Going to be the same. Okay, so we're strumming that part different. Once we get to the E minor, in version 1 we just strum it, which sounds great and is awesome. But this, like how cool is that? Especially if you are playing as a solo acoustic guitar player, it sounds like you're soloing, right? You're soloing and you're playing chords too. We're blending the two. It fills the space quite nicely. So this is something I really, really, really wanted to hit during this lesson. So let's go through this together. Upstroke. Let the pick do the work for you, folks. If you can notice here, when I upstroke, I never do it like straight. Right, like a straight line. I've always got some sort of angle or I curve it. A lot of times when I do an upstroke, I kind of trace the bottom of the sound hole. Because then you get like those cool high sounds of the strings. Which is rad, which sounds different if you did it here. See what I mean? So, again, I'm planting seeds here. You guys, play what you think sounds cool. I'm just giving you options here. It's almost got like a cool like harp kind of thing happening. Okay, so that next bit after that upstroke of that E minor, we're gonna do here. You're gonna hit E and that B note, right? Where your second finger is on that E minor chord. Keep the time though. So in your head, I want you to count. Because if you strum, notice how alternate picking here. If you're doing this, it doesn't really have quite the effect. We want it a little more seamless. See what I mean? So I'll do that a little slower here. Again, we are hitting the E string and the A string. That's it. We're building up. that's what's happening there. So again, I'm using a thinner pick with this, but if you guys are more comfortable with thicker picks, that's fine. I'm using a 0.6 pick with this. Now strum your C chord. Downstroke. Second finger, hit the B note, A string, 2nd fret. 3rd fret, hit the C note with your 3rd finger, 3rd fret, A string. D, open string. Okay? So again. 3rd finger is going to go and play the G note, or 2nd finger, 3rd fret, E string, G note, to then get you locked and ready to play the G chord that is right here, okay? So let's do that bit. And then strum that G chord. Or if you want to just get right to the chord like I just did, you can do that too. I think it sounds really, there's cool movement when you hit the root first, then you play it. So let's go ahead, do that E minor, C to G bit, the first half of Jackson's intro or solo. Again. Cool stuff, right? Let's do a little faster. It's got good movement. It's such a great part. Jackson Browne's just the coolest. So we've got, then we're gonna go to our A minor chord, but first we're gonna hit the A string open, then the A minor chord. So we're gonna do yet another walk up, open, A string, which is your A note, 2nd fret with your 2nd finger B, C, 3rd fret A string. Let's do that again. Hybrid, or make sure you're alternate picking with that too. That's leading us to our C chord. Okay, so again, the A minor part. Now, let's go ahead and give this some context here. I'm going to do E minor, C, to G, to our A minor, and then to our C chord. Okay? So here we go. One more time for good luck. Okay, so now the next bit here goes like this. Let me do that nice and slow here. We got our C chord. Now, pluck the C note, 3rd fret A string, open D string, get your 3rd finger to play that E note, 2nd fret of the D string. Why? E minor's next. Let's make this flawless. Let's make this flawless. Again, really, really good technique that we want to think about here. So, let's do that again, starting from the C chord. Again. Actually, if you do want to hit that with your 2nd finger too, that's okay, and then just move it up. You have the time to do that. That's fine. You can do that too. Either one. Let's do that again, C chord. D chord. So E minor to D. I'm gonna play this whole bit nice and slow, and then I'll play it to speed. And then folks, we're pretty much there. We're pretty much there, all right? It's been such a blast. Thank you all for being here. Again, if you guys are enjoying this lesson, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Angela Petrilli Music. It helps the cause, folks. It helps the cause. It's good stuff. Tell your friends, too. You got guitar playing friends. Tell them to join us and hang out every Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. It's good stuff. So happy you guys are here. This is so fun. All right, so here we go. Do that one more time, a little faster. Now, if you want to add a D sus4 and then go into your verse, absolutely, you could do that too. Or if you just want to do D and then move to G, fine. And then we get into our verse there. Okay, so verse, G, D, A minor. Verse 3 is a little different. Instead of C chord, it's an A minor, yeah. So then you go to G, so D. Again, strumming pattern is the same here. We got our chorus. Same old chords that we did before. Again, let the pick do the work for you. Keep that right hand moving. Keep that rhythm consistent. And even if you want to get a little louder on those accents, that's great. And then let that G ring. And then we've got the oohs, right? The that's that part. C and G. That goes ahead and repeats. C to G. One more time. Again, basic chords you guys know. Keeping the strumming consistent. So then you've got that part there. You know we've got it. Now, I've heard some versions where it sounds like an F chord to me, which with G7, the flat 7 is your F. So, but pretty sure I've heard versions where it sounds like sometimes it's a G7, sometimes it's an F. In the Eagles version and in Jackson Browne's that I was listening to, sounded like a G7. So it would go like this. You know we got it. G7 to C chord. You know we got it. So does that. Pretty simple, right? We know those chords. Okay, so your G7. I'll talk about that one for my beginners. So first finger, put that on the F. Okay, first fret E string. Second finger, second fret of the A string, that's your B. Third finger G, third fret E string. Okay, so like that. Think of it as an expanded C chord, right? You got C, bring this down, bring these two up. And there's your G7. So think about it that way. It's a really good practice. Beginners with your stretching, going from G7 to C. It's a good one. So then we've got E minor. That finishes the song, right? So Jackson Browne does a really cool walk down in his version. It goes something like this. So how we would do that: C, B, A, E. Upstroke or downstroke, however you want to articulate that chord at the end. Okay, so just like that. This is such a fun song. I'll go through, let's see, since we got a little time, I will go through the entire thing real quick, and it has been a blast, folks. Thanks so much. And again, if you're enjoying these lessons, be sure to subscribe, tell a friend. Want to thank the awesome folks at Fishman for making these lessons happen. They are just good folks, and it is just so fun. So here we go from the very top. Let's do the nice big strumming, why not? Come on, Angela. Let's do that cleaner. There we go. We're live. That's our verse into our chorus. Verse 2. Chorus 2. Jackson Brown's version. Then you got your outro. With our G7 in there. So there you go. Fun stuff. Again, we're live. So go practice this, get your riffs again, and think about really playing things nice and clean. Like that. Again, this has been so much fun. Again, thank you all for being here. It is such a blast. I wish you all much success in your playing. Have fun with this. And you know what? When you mess up, it's great. It helps you remember, you know, okay, what are things that I can do better? So embrace the mistakes. They're not mistakes, but lessons to be learned. So you mess up, learn from it, move on, have fun. That's why we pick up this thing, right? Have fun with it. It's good stuff. Again, can't thank you enough. You guys are having a blast. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, Angela Petrilli Music. I will be playing, someone is asking, give us a hint for next week. 90s, and probably gonna be on an electric. 90s song on an electric guitar is what's going to be happening next week. So we're going to go ahead and put down the acoustic for next week. We're going to be playing electric next time. So have that ready to go. Again, be sure to subscribe to the channels on Fishman. You can follow me as well on all the socials. Let's see, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You know, Gotta keep up with time. So there you go, folks. Again, thank you all so much. Wishing you much success. Have a blast. See you next week.